All right, guys, so I stumbled across this very interesting conversation from CNN, okay, in regards to Tennessee doing the right thing and banning children being able to get so-called gender-affirming care and not allowing children to attend drag shows, aka allowing children to attend male strip shows, right? Which, again, you would think in a decent society, okay, where we have some common sense, that everybody would agree with this, right? This would be non-controversial. However, according to the mainstream liberal media, outlets like CNN, this is somehow controversial, okay? And I want to react to CNN's reaction to Tennessee doing the right thing here and protecting children, because it really does show you just how far gone outlets like CNN are in regards to being in touch with everyday normal Americans, especially on an issue like this, okay? Because, again, you would think that in a reasonable society, this would be non-controversial and everybody would agree that, yeah, kids should not be allowed to physically or chemically castrate themselves before the age of consent, and that kids shouldn't be allowed at male strip shows, right? You would think that that would be non-controversial. However, in 2023, apparently it is, right? It's an act of bigotry and hate. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, but don't these people think that they're protecting the health of the teenagers?
But here, physicians and psychologists are saying it is harmful to children who are experiencing, for example, gender dysphoria, among other things, to not be able to treat them appropriately. And that is the fundamental difference between the laws that you just described and the law that, for political purposes, the governor of Tennessee has just signed.
Can people make...
Yeah. So, again, where's the evidence to back up these claims? Because these people just make these broad statements. Well, all these physicians and medical doctors, you know, some of whom are woke, okay, a lot of whom are woke, okay, well, they're saying that it's harmful. It is harmful not to allow kids to physically or chemically castrate themselves before the age of 18. Okay, where's your evidence, right? Where's your evidence to back up this claim? Because you don't have any evidence that allowing them to do it is actually going to prevent them from deleting themselves, okay? Because that's the main argument that they make. That, hey, you know, if you don't go along with this, then you are contributing to kids wanting to delete themselves. But again, they don't have any evidence to suggest that actually allowing them to go through with it is going to help with that problem. So again, I'm not saying where is the downside of just making them wait till they're 18. I'm not saying what is so harmful about making kids wait till they're 18. What's so harmful about that? Again, these people just make these statements. They just throw these statements out there. And outlets like CNN never challenge these statements and say, hey, is that actually really true? Like, is it actually really true that it is harmful to make kids wait till they're 18 before they can decide to, you know, cut off their breasts? Right? I'm just saying. I think it's more harmful when you have children who undergo these procedures and then later on regret it in life. Okay, these children have not experienced things like, for example, the ability to, I don't know, have an orgasm. Okay, you know, to actually properly function sexually. Okay, you know, they don't go through puberty. They're not experiencing a part of life as a human that we experience because they're undergoing these treatments. Okay, and then they have these complications where they have to continue to be subject to surgery after surgery after surgery. They become lifelong medical patients. They don't understand the ramifications of going through these procedures and what it actually takes and what you actually have to go through. That, to me, it seems to be more harmful than just allowing them to wait until they fully understand, okay, hey, if I get my penis chopped off, then, you know, I may have to keep going back under the knife because my new pus vagina is not working properly, right? Which, again, apparently that's what happens about 55% of the time, right? There are complications. I'm just saying. These people make these statements with no pushback on these networks, and that's the problem.
Make their own decisions about how they want to live their lives. If it doesn't affect other people,
adolescents and teenagers.
Okay, but if it doesn't affect other people in a negative way.
I also wonder, like, what happened to the Republican Party of smaller government, right? Like, you know, I was hearing that governor say, we're not going to tell you to vaccinate your kids, but we are going to tell you you can't get them there, you know, this I mean, I think it's,
it is.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, right? I'm so sick and tired of this talking point, but it really kind of is the Republican Party's fault and conservatives' fault, the whole small government thing. But people get small government conservatism mixed up with libertarianism, right? We're not libertarians, right? Or put it this way, I'm more of a libertarian when it comes to adults, okay? I don't care what you do as an adult, okay? If you want to be trans, if you want to be a drag performer, if you want to be gay or whatever, I don't care, right? Do you live your life? That's how I feel about adults. I'm basically a libertarian when it comes to adults. But when it comes to kids, I'm a hardcore conservative, right? When it comes to children. We already have laws on the books that dictate what kids can and can't participate in because they're kids. They're not old enough to understand what they're doing. They can't have a gun. They can't smoke. They can't drink. They can't join the military, right? They can't drive, okay? We already have laws on the books saying that, hey, kids can't participate in this type of stuff because of their age, okay? They're not old enough to consent. They're not old enough to know what they can do. They're not old enough to understand the ramifications of their decisions. I don't understand how in the world can you justify not allowing a kid, okay, to have sex with an adult, right? They're not able to consent to sex with an adult. We all agree with that, right? But they're able to consent to modifying their sexual body parts, right? How does that make sense? And then they always do this stupid vaccine comparison, right? They're trying to compare an experimental vaccine and people saying, look, I don't think that we should be forced to put an experimental vaccine into adults or kids, right? To saying, look, we shouldn't allow kids to just make these decisions about them physically or chemically castrating themselves when they're not old enough to understand the consequences of those decisions. Those are two different things, okay? I don't understand why people keep trying to bring up the vaccine and trying to say, oh, well, you're a hypocrite because you're supposed to believe in small government. Yeah, I do believe in limited government, but I believe in necessary government, right? That doesn't mean no government. It means limited but necessary government, okay? And where the government is necessary is when it comes to children and protecting them from themselves and protecting them from parents and adults that are trying to take advantage of them, right? I do believe in the government stepping in and saying, hey, we need to protect this child because they're not able to protect themselves, okay? If the government's not going to do that, I'm not sure what role the government should have at all, right? If they're not going to protect people who can't protect themselves. It's really that simple. We're not libertarians, okay? We're not full-blown anarchist libertarians. I don't know why these people keep getting this mixed up.
It's the inconsistency is laid bare right there. Let's also talk about the bill that he signed about drag shows. So as you know, not only is trans a hot button word, but drag shows are. And so now he has signed, I think I have the language here, it's an offense. It's now illegal for a person who engages in adult cabaret performances. And as a feature of that performance is a male or female impersonator who provides entertainment viewed by a person who is not an adult. Okay.
Why are they rolling this eye? They're rolling their eyes like, again, that's controversial. Again, this is the world that we live in. They think that banning kids from attending male strip shows is controversial. Like, this is ridiculous, right? We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be banning kids from attending male strip shows. Again, I would love to ask anybody on this panel, would you agree with allowing kids, 5-year-old girls and boys, to go into normal strip clubs where women take their panties off, they take the bra off, and they walk around naked and basically, in some cases, some strip clubs, they perform sexual acts, right? Would you be okay with that? Who knows? The question might backfire because these people are so crazy, right? That they might say, yeah, we do agree with that, right? We're totally fine with that, okay? That's the current state of the modern day Democrat Party, right? So who knows? That question might backfire.
It's again, just interesting to see that the governor himself dressed as a woman in his high school photo. Here he is, dressed as a woman because lots of people
it's fun.
And because it's fun and it's funny. And
I don't think it's fun, right? It ain't fun to me. I ain't never dressed like no woman. Now, again, in terms of, how I feel about this, and is this hypocritical because the governor dressed up like a girl in high school for whatever reason? Not really. I don't see what this actually has to do with anything. I'm not sure if this is the gotcha moment that they think it is, because he did it for one event. Again, I don't think that he is living his life as a drag queen, or that he's trying to perform in front of young children. Maybe this was some weird thing that they do in high school, right? I feel like I've seen this before, where you got, dudes that will dress up as cheerleaders or something like that as a joke, as a fun thing to do. But that is different than the sexualized performances that we're seeing in front of kids. Again, this is why news outlet like CNN, they're so uncredible, right? This is why people don't take them serious anymore, because some of the footage and videos that we've seen of these drag performers in front of kids has been just, again, it's straight up like sexual acts, like sexual, right? Like, I mean, we're talking about sex shows in front of kids. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about this, right? This is not what we're talking about. Again, this conversation is so disingenuous. They're trying to belittle it as if, hey, this is not a real thing. These conservatives are just crazy. They're just bigots. They just hate LGBTQ. They hate trans people. They hate anybody that's not a Christian conservative. And that's just not true. There are legitimate reasons for why conservatives are so gung-ho about this issue. But again, you wouldn't know it if you're watching CNN.
Lots of people dress as a different gender to perform.
And by the way, being a drag queen is a serious art form. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. It's entertaining. People like to express themselves. It's fun to watch it.
Hey, boy, speak for yourself, right? Speak for yourself. I don't think any of that about drag queens. And again, this is why Fox News is constantly beating CNN in the ratings. Because of this right here. Because of segments right here. Fox News, at the very least, again, there's plenty of criticisms for Fox News. Fox News will go all the way and tell the truth and say, yeah, I mean, these are straight sexualized performances. CNN, on the other hand, they'll belittle it and act like it's nothing. Again, this is why viewers want to watch Fox News and they don't want to watch CNN, because CNN is not, they're not telling the truth. Okay?
And you might actually learn something about the world and other people.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Incredible. Right? CNN. Apparently, they think that it is controversial to not allow kids to physically or chemically castrate themselves, or to allow kids to, be a part of or to participate in male strip shows. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.